everyone. Good evening. A heartfelt welcome to all of you joining us today for what promises to be a fascinating conversation on AI driven HR analytics, enhancing talent, insights, and strategies. I'm Prashanti Sudhakar, your host for this session, and it's a pleasure to have you all here with us today. At Education Nest, we are passionate about empowering professionals with the knowledge and skills they need to thrive in today's ever evolving world. Let's make the most of our time together. So, get ready for an engaging and thought provoking discussion. Let's get started. And to kick things off, I would like to introduce our topic. In today's fast evolving workplace, organizations are turning to artificial intelligence to revolutionize human resources analytics. AI driven HR analytics goes beyond traditional data analysis, leveraging machine learning, predictive modeling, and automation to provide deeper insights into workforce trends, employee performance, and talent management strategies. By integrating AI, HR professionals can make data driven decisions with greater accuracy, streamline recruitment and retention efforts, and enhance employee engagement. From predictive hiring to personalized career development plans, AI empowers HR teams to optimize talent strategies and foster a more agile, efficient, and productive workforce. And to help us gain some incredible insights and practical strategies, we have a very special guest with us today, Sandeep Kaur, who will be sharing insights and expertise that will definitely help you expand your knowledge and skills. Ms. Sandeep Kaur is a seasoned human resource professional with over 15 years of corporate experience spanning multiple industries, specializing in learning and development, talent management, and organizational development. She has played a pivotal role in driving both organizational growth and individual talent development. Throughout her career, Ms. Kaur has successfully led initiatives that align business objectives with human capital strategies, ensuring sustainable growth and workforce excellence. Academically, she holds a master's in business studies from ICFAI Tripura and has further specialized in advanced human resources from the prestigious Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow. Her commitment to continuous learning is evident in her certification as a master trainer and a learning development specialist from the Carlton Advanced Management Institute, US. Adding to her list of accomplishments, she is also an author and certified life member of the Indian Council of Astrological Sciences. She recently launched a book as well, Minutes of Healing, Embracing the Path of Emotional Well-being, which explores personal growth, resilience, and emotional wellness. With a passion of empowering others and fostering impactful learning experiences, Ms. Kaur continues to inspire transformation in both professional and personal spheres. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat as we go along. We'll wrap up with a very quick and amazing question and answer session at the end. So don't hesitate to participate. We'd love to hear from you. Sandeep ma'am, thank you so much for joining again, for being us today. We are eager to gain your valuable insights from your expertise. Without further ado, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Prasanti. I'll share my screen. Please
Sure.
help me to confirm. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, so we'll move on to the session today. Once again, thank you so much, everyone. So we'll talk about AI-driven HR analytics today, enhancing talent insights and strategy. What we'll cover in the session, we'll talk a brief overview of the key concepts within AI, why AI is increasingly important in HR analytics. We'll talk about a step-by-step guide to the best approach for introducing AI into HR analytics. And towards the end of the session, we'll talk about new stems of HR roles, how AI and analytics are redefining HR roles. So going forward with the session, um, so what is AI, how AI works, application of AI, and future of AI? We'll just quickly take a brief about it. So I have included a brief definition of AI, which says that it refers to the simulation of human intelligence by computer systems. It involves creating algorithms and models that enable machines to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as learning from experience, recognizing patterns, solving problems, and making decisions. I would want you to pay attention to this line, which I had turned bold, that AI allows machines to think and act intelligently within the scope of their programming and training. This is a very important, and I would reiterate it in a way. This is what talks a brief about AI in a whole way. Types of AI, let's quickly go through it. It's like narrow AI, general AI, super intelligence AI. Going forward, see, AI is being used everywhere throughout the industry now. If we talk about healthcare, so we are using it for analysis and radiology, images to detect tumors and etc. Finance, the kind of algorithms used in stock market trends. It is also AI. If you talk about manufacturing and automation industry, so AI-driven robots are used in assembly lines and tasks like packaging and quality control. Retail and e-commerce is something very common even in the non-technical crowd of customers, where we're using Amazons, we're using Myntra, we're using Flipkart, etc. So how AI is working in personalized shopping, it's all a kind of an appreciation to the usage of and leveraging of AI, how industry is using. And in the end, human resource, which is today's session also, that we'll be talking how AI is leveraging in human resource. Future of AI is in no doubt very bright. So if you talk about general AI, it's gonna be in a way that it will blur the lines between human and machine intelligence, right? And if you talk about AI ethics, of course, we are developing a new guidelines, frameworks to ensure more responsibility towards the system. Human AI collaborations is a very important topic these days for a debate, that that will the AI replace humans? So no, of course, it's going to work in a collaboration where AI will enhance the human capabilities in a short. Right. And so overall, if we talk about the AI future, it is going to be in a very broader way where human will get more empowered to perform their task in industry. I've included this picture, and this is one of my favorite pictures also, because if we see this picture very closely, so what it says, it talk to AI, and your most of the challenges will be resolved in terms of technical capabilities, and of course, in a very broader way, non-technical too these days. Moving ahead. So why AI is increasingly important in HR analytics? Let's see how. So it helps in data-driven decision making, predictive analytics, personalized employee experience, automated processes, bias reduction, enhanced recruitment process, employee sentiments and engagement analysis, workforce optimization, cost efficiency, and continuous improvement. So if we summarize that, it's going to bring value. AI is going to immensely bring value to HR analytics by automating the task, offering predictive insights, personalized experience, and removing the biases, optimizing decision making. So if you'll check our videos also, we have done one session on how AI we are using to leverage learning and development journeys also. Similarly, other segments of HR can also be enhanced by that. An important section of this session, a step-by-step guide to the best approach for introducing AI into HR analytics. So first and the foremost thing, what we need to do is understand the organizational needs and objectives. This is a very common step which we always suggest to all the HR professionals before introducing any new tool or technology or strategy to the organization. So why and how you can do that? Of course, uh, it's very important that whatever steps you are taking should meet the organization's goal, right? So how you can do it? See, identify the key challenges and the opportunities AI can address. For example, let's talk about employee attrition, or if you want to address recruitment efficiency, or you want to address performance evaluation, select that, right? And that's what my next line says. Define your HR analytics goals. Identify key metrics. So this is one again very important thing which is important. Once you are done with your goals, once you are done with how you want to use AI in your system to analyze the already existing data and to benefit it for the employees, set your key metrics where you want to implement it. So implementation can be very broader, right? Identify the key metrics where you want to do it. Access readiness. Once you are done with your goal settings, next, please start with a small pilot project. Smaller scope. By smaller scopes, I mean like maybe you can just use AI driven resume screening process, a very small and first step of your recruitment process. You can just try using some AI tool in that process and then prove how worth it could be for your organization and your system. Set measurable KPIs which can talk about, something like, let's say, reduction in hiring time and improved retention rates, a very specific and where you can show the results in a much measurable manner. Gather feedback, of course, that what is the outcome out of it. Invest in the right technology and tool. So once you're done with your project selection and you have been very sure about how you want to take it ahead, selection of AI-powered HR software is one important thing. So how do you use that? See, there are many tools available, but not everything would fit in. So you need to be very sure about your analytical and your homework upon it, that identify an AI-powered HR analytics tool which is best suitable. Like maybe you want to use predictive analytics, chatbots, or sentiment analysis. How do you want to, which task you are taking up as your project scope? Integrate with existing HR system. So if you're using SAP Success Factor or using Workforce or using Orange or using Darwin, try to integrate it with that so that your system is at pace and your data is centralized. Ensure scalability. This is one important thing. So if you're introducing any technology in the organization, always try and keep a very good space of scalability. Once your project is successful, it will help you to leverage ahead. Build data infrastructure and governance. So data quality is one important thing when we talk about any technical step. Data privacy and compliance, of course. So centralize your data. See, I always suggest, and in fact, if you talk about any of the HR tools, they provide employee central platform where we gather the whole data in a way that it is one access data and centralized way. So that helps you to check the data, to use the data in a more appropriate manner and always ready and available for any AI implementation also. An important thing again, once you introduce, so it's always a teamwork, you have to be very collaborative. But whenever you use any new technology in an organization, always upskill your HR staff. It should be top to bottom approach and then bottom to top. It should be very clear on what tools we're using. Train everybody, each and every employee, each and every team member in that, so that that culture gets built and everybody is sure about each and every feature. and that's how you will build the skills, and you are making your employees more competent in using that system. So once the system is in place, once you train your people, then it becomes more seamless and more flawless, rather, to leverage it or to scale it or use it in any other different types of projects. So educate and train your HR team members. Pilot, testing, and refine. So once your project is selected, you have trained your team, you have introduced the tool and every bit. So now comes the running part. Run the pilot show. See how well it is working, what are the challenges you are facing, and try to reiterate it. Let's say there could be a less buy-in from the employees. Try to work upon building those, removing those biases, because not everybody would be in the favor of your new initiative regarding AI. AI is a very, very fast-paced working, so it requires that kind of efficiency, it requires that kind of accuracy. So try and build that culture slowly and smoothly by proving its worth in the organization, by proving its productivity in the organization. Ensure stakeholder buy-in. Like I said, biases would raise, somebody would be in about it and somebody would be for and against about it. So that's how, you should be very sure that, communicate the benefits of it. And of course, AI being in use, when you show that magic, that how soon your reports are ready, how well presented it is, that digital visualization, when it is presented to the management, definitely, it's going to be a very, very impactful presentation. So try to communicate in a manner, try not to miss any opportunity, rather, where you can present the benefits of using AI rather than more of a manual approach. Address concerns, because of course whenever we introduce any new thing, any not just in HR or in AI or any technical, whenever we are using any new, introducing any new thing in an organization, there are certain concerns. That's what people expect in organization from HR, and that should be a top to bottom approach. You should be approachable enough so that concerns are removed and the buy-in is more strong foundation of your uh, tool which has been introduced. Involve HR leaders. Like I said, it should be a top to bottom approach. So once your leaders are involved and they have a very strong and loud say about using it and bringing that impact in your system, so it will obviously be adopted by down the line as well. Major impact and scale. So data talks a lot. Data is something which doesn't requires too much of cognitive approach. So once you are done with your project and once you have shown the results, make it in a way that you're able to measure your success, how much, what percentage of mistakes you have reduced, right? And before and after you can show before using the AI and after using the AI. That's how you can show the data. And that will be obviously, in a way where, suppose if in case you're using a hiring process and your recruitment process and your screening before was uh, something, at you were able to match the JDs and hire people at, let's say, 60% of match profiles. So now after AI, if you're able to do 90%, it's an amazing shift. Or rather, even if the figures are different, so you have to present that shift, that will help you to scale your AI implementation further. Promote continuous improvement and monitoring. Continuous learning, feedback loop, stay updated. These are the three steps which are very important, to ensure that whatever initiative you had taken. See, AI is not something, it is a kind of wherever you introduce any software, either in performance management or in Employee Central to manage your data, or in your recruitment, you have introduced the application tracking system. So these are all the software which always needs kind of an updation. It requires feedback as per the suitability and as per the demand of the employees, right? It should be user friendly rather. So always keep a pace that you are in a learning process. You are able to update it in at every step, and you are accepting the feedback, the positive and the negative, both, of course, right? So that will help you to bring a culture and also a buy-in for your initiative. Plus, it will strengthen your system as well. Change management and employee communication. Manage change, because once you are doing things manually, like I remember we used to do performance management manually. We had goal setting process and then the reviews, mid-year reviews, or rather the final annual year reviews. It was all on paper. It used to, one the person has filled, and then it will go to the manager, then to the HOD, and then to the higher hierarchies, because there were too many people involved. So further, when we introduce this lean management, now it should be hardly 2 to 3 managers, lifespan reduced. So this was a very important shift in terms of that. So from manually, when we are doing it now in a system, it has reduced the time of doing performance reviews. Going to the people, keeping the paper, and then they are certainly doing all that manual. And now you just in one click able to see the person's performance. Person has filled on his own, and you just with one click done okay, or given a one-line feedback. See how well it has reduced the TAT, right? One important benefit of using AI or other softwares for performance management. But this required training. This was a very important change which organizations introduced in their PMS cycle, right? So you have to very, very polite, very, very patient to manage that. So emphasize human AI collaboration. That's what I was talking about. You have to train your people. You have to people who are not who are at the admin level or who are at the user level. They all should be trained in their own capacity and as per the utility. So that kind of a change which you are trying to bring, that kind of a digital movement you are bringing, it helps people to evolve in their own way. So when they feel that revolution, when they feel that shift in enhancements, of course the change management process becomes more seamless. So, in a summary, introducing AI in HR analytics is a step-by-step process that requires thoughtfulness and strategic approach, right? So, these steps are very important, and if you miss or you alter one after the other, that may become very difficult for you, in a way to introduce such a strong, impactful tool in your organization. So, follow these steps. Moving ahead, a very important part, because with this new system approach, the roles of HR had also changed. Now we are no longer working like admins, less of manual work. We talk on data more, right? So we'll talk about how AI and analytics are redefining HR roles. So, like I've already mentioned, from admin to a strategic partner now. So now, if you will see, most of the organizations have introduced this HR analytic as one important segment in HR, and also HR BP, a human resource business partner is a one new role you would see in last 4 to 5 years, which has brought into picture, and hirings are done for that. People are trained for that, right? So these analytical tools provide insights to the employee performance, predict trends and turnovers or engagement levels. AI can handle administrative tasks. Like I gave you an example of performance management, how we used to do on papers, and it was a completely tedious task. Even the hirings, we had bundle of resumes kept in file along with the feedback form, and managing those feedback forms, and uh, processing it, shifting it manually to the different levels of rounds. It was all a very painful task. Somewhere it used to hit back our mental stamina as well. So now, all these manual work has reduced. Now we can focus more on the efficiency or on the accuracy. Data-driven decision makers. So once now you have the reports in hand, where you can predict which employees are likely to leave. Like why I'm talking about this data-driven decision maker, and I have taken this point, predicting which employees are likely to leave. You must have seen, these chatbots play an important role. How you feeling today? So many of the employees that are either daily doing yes, happy, unhappy. So they may feel I may attend it, I may not. But a lot of people, with time and culture start doing that. That may help you, to predict, okay, this is not something working with the employee, or the morale is low, or today, if you talk, anonymous feedbacks are working, where you are using the chatbots, you are mailing the employee. So this is how, a lot of HR decisions can be taken within support to the data. Right. So you're not talking hey and way when you're talking that this certain employee is not feeling okay to continue the job, or is not comfortable in his fitment. So identifying potential leaders or high potential employees. The other side of it is when we are doing succession planning, and I'm sure all the professionals, all the HR professionals who will listen to this session will identify that succession planning is one most required step in any organization. It is a very, very buy-in process, where you identify um, your potential leaders on your 9 box grid sections, and there's a lot of calculations required. So this AI tools of performance management system really helps you a lot, where your calculations, where if you talk about maintaining the ratings, the feedbacks, the potential ratings, all that you can do in seconds. You can take and can pull the report and can identify and fit in your 9 box grid who is the high performer, who's the middle performance, mediocre, or this is or your mopos, your high potentials, your future leaders. So your succession planning report, which would take, I remember it used to take 3 to 4 months process post PMS to fill in this report. Now it just in one pull, you have the report in your hand. You just had to be good in your Excel skills. That's it. You'll get the whole report in one way, and then you can rather focus on your development programs instead of focusing on designing these Excel sheets. So this is the power of AI, where PMS can be a most beautiful and crafted process in organizations from HR. Employee experience curator, like I spoke about, employee experience, which these days, like, well, I'll give an example. Amber, we used to use Amber as a chatbot, where Amber will talk every 30 days post joining, 60 days post joining, 90 days. So it's not just for the new joiners. A lot of time after PMS, if suppose we want to check what is the pulse of or impact of PMS happened, or any after reward program. So that's how you can plan your engagement calendar and introduce that in your system, right? And you can check how people are feeling. So in a way, it gives you a plan, it gives you a platform where you can design a more personalized career development plans based on your individual employee goals, skills, and aspirations. It's more personalized. Now you are no less, you no need to do the generic programs. You can touch each and every employee very easily with the help of these AI tools. Use sentiment analysis to measure employee engagement and proactively address concerns before they escalate. Provide tailored learning and development programs, AI recommendations to improve employee skills and growth. So we have done one session, like I said, for how AI leverage in learning and development journey. You can go through that session once again, and I have covered a lot of important points. How learning management system, completely driven by AI, has made all. I mean, it has really brought a great ease, a user friendly approach, a more process oriented, result oriented, impactful approach in your learning journeys within organizations. Talent acquisition and recruitment evolution. So screening resumes more efficiently, ensuring the best fit candidates are selected. Now, when system is doing that, and when you are manually doing that, obviously it's all the manual, it's all the we human have introduced AI parameters of screening the resumes. But every time checking on it, it is a very, very painful task. And now once the machine is doing it, I mean, your job is just, it's so easy now, right? So this is one example I had put. Ki talent acquisition used to be an end-to-end process where hiring the right candidate at the right time and the best fit is one important demand from the management. So your first step till the last step of hiring, it's all so well organized when you are introducing AI in talent acquisition. use chatbots. It keeps your candidates engaged. And because these days, if you see, a lot of candidates in complain that HRs are not giving the feedback, or maybe maybe the screening was not appropriate, maybe the JD was not provided, XYZ complaints. So why this happens? Because we get so many resumes, and it becomes very difficult for filtration and then certain bringing them to the different level of interview screenings. So these chatbots, really keep them feel that, yeah, we are in the process, and you are in the queue list, or maybe if you are certainly dropped, you may always be, in connect for different other roles available in the organization in future. So chatbots work as, kind of a mediator between you and the database outside the market. Predict success. So obviously, when you have the data in your hand, and it's more filtered, it's more well sorted data. So you can always show your success ratio of, like, that what was your recruitment pool, and from where you had started, and how you got this best fit. What is the percentage of hiring, best hiring, or successful hiring? These all parameters, these all KPIs can be well justified once you have the AI reports in your hand by using these, application tracking softwares. Performance and talent management, like I already gave you an example of succession planning, which is an important section of talent management and performance management. So once you introduce that in your PMS system, so implement continuous feedback systems that track performance in real time, right? So it's not like that I am doing my mid-year review after my goal setting has been done in April, so now I'm doing it in January, let's say. So, it becomes, when you're doing things manually in HR in terms of your performance tracking, the delay is very obvious. But once you're doing it in the system, it just needs a right time to trigger the form, and your work is done, right? You can emphasize on assisting people to fill their forms and their feedbacks and other processes. So that's how you're reducing the human errors as well. Use AI tools to recognize patterns in employee performance, identifying areas for improvements or skill gaps. This is one important tool which will help you to build an amazing learning calendar, because once you have the right and the exact requirement, training requirement of your employees, it will definitely bring an impact in your business as well. You can talk in terms of aligning your learning needs to the organization requirements and goals. Support personalized career development plans. So once you have the data from the PMS, if suppose it requires any performance improvement plan, or you are doing individual development plans for your successors, or you are just introducing learning journeys for your campus recruits, for your new joiners, all these, etc., all these different variety of requirements and sources, you can do it through your system more easily. Otherwise, imagine the pain involved when you're doing it manually, making the forms. It is absolutely next to impossible, which is why the growth of organization is very at a very slow pace, who are not using any HR tools in organization, as compared to the ones who are beautifully using and leveraging it. Bias reduction and diversity and inclusion. So track diversity metrics across departments and roles. That becomes very different, very, very easy. And why? Because, like I said, Employee Central, Employee Central covers all the demographic details, and you don't have to manually really fill it every time. Maybe just the updation you can do, and it's more easy to maintain the huge database as well. So anytime you require to see within any angle, whether in terms of gender, whether in terms of geography, whether in terms of any city form, in any way you want to track the diversity, you can do it once your data is centralized. Evaluate if hiring processes are disproportionately favoring any demographies. Like I said, you can check the demographic data through Employee Central. And a lot of time, we do it unintendedly. Maybe we are getting more candidates in that certain demography, and we have just, randomly hired. So This is a checkpoint. You can every time check your data and see where you are crossing the lines of your own boundaries. Maybe you can just can be alarming. So that's how, if you are maintaining the data, you can check it in any way. Monitor employee satisfaction and engagement across the group. So this is one again important benefit, because a lot of time, like I said, grievance handling is also one important HR aspect where you can with these pulse reports, with these survey reports, you're doing it through system. It's more authentic. You have the data in support and present to the management if you want to talk any dissatisfaction, or if you want to show the satisfactory scores. That is also that happy moment that yes, my data talks the same. Um, Workforce planning and optimization. Predict workforce trends such as the need for additional staff in certain departments or times of year. Let's say if you are in any department where any additional project has been introduced and there is a need of additional workforce. So now you can talk about it through your system. Provide insights on how to optimize labor cost while maintaining efficiency and productivity. I have seen this exercise done in manufacturing because a lot of time when seasonal businesses are done, right? So in that moment, it's very important that you have the data in your hand talking about the cost versus your manpower. Create It helps to create flexible workforce plans, such as identifying opportunities for remote works or flexible hours. So workforce planning, as compared to be done manually on papers or just talking on the Excel sheets and done in the system, you get a better analytical reports, better dashboards, much enhanced, much loud data visualization trends can be presented as compared to what we used to do in the last decade. If I talk about, we were using more of the Excel sheets. It had its own limitations. Employee well-being and engagement. So we have spoken enough about these employee surveys, workload data, communication patterns, and in any way you want to check it, maybe kind of you want to just check the stress check, somebody is not fit in any role because of health issues or maybe because of the any XYZ reason. So this engagement data can be checked. Identify correlation between well-being and productivity to design wellness programs tailored for employee needs. So once, it's not very easy if you're supposed working in an organization which is obviously more than 500. Rather, at times, if you're working in an organization where you have just 500 employees, manual data cannot be accurate every time. Every time you cannot update it, you cannot prove the accuracies. Doing with the system, that repetition of change, updation, and freezing that data is more easier with these AI tools. Offer mental health and wellness support programs. These are all interlinked. When we are using these employee survey tools, it becomes like we can introduce any, not just the mental health and wellness programs. It could be any kind of training programs, any kind of, let's say, development programs in any category, rather, maybe skills, maybe technical skills, non-technical skills, behavioral competencies. You can always talk about it with the help of meeting it as per the employee's requirement, as per the business goals. So it's not hey and way. It is something aligned and in collaboration with your organizational need. Continuous learning and adaptation is very important. You should never miss, because in any way, when you are making your system so aggressively and rigorously functional in terms of technical introductions, you have to be very proactive in your learning and adaptation processes and strategies. Stay at the front of talent management strategies. Like I said, succession planning is one which is like amazingly doing with these tools. Offer innovative solution based on real-time data rather than outdated practices. Keep up with the technological advancements. So even if you have introduced your AI tool and in your different spheres of HR, ensure you are keeping it, updated. Ensure you are understanding the industrial benchmark and you are making it best available in the industry, or at least making the features so well intact with the system that you're not lagging behind anywhere, so that your employees are also well updated. Leadership and change management. We've already spoken a lot on the change management. So lead the charge in digital transformation and ensure the successful integration of AI tools. Educate the workforce about the benefits and limitations of not building the trust and transparency. Keep up the technological advancements. So this was all what we were talking about, how the HR role has changed by introducing these AI and analyticals are enabling HR professionals to play more strategic and impactful roles within the organizations rather than being bogged down by just routine tasks, right? So this is what I had summarized there. So it becomes very, very easier and more enhanced on a global platform rather, to present yourself as, in much more impactful manner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Just give me a minute. Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. That was an insightful webinar. And thank you. And now let's dive into the part where we all have been waiting for. And without any delay, the question and answer session will be started in few minutes. I am very sure that our attendees have posted some fantastic questions in the comment section. So let's get started. So your first question says, what is AI-driven HR analytics and how does it differ from traditional HR analytics?
So AI-driven HR analytics, if we talk like we have already spoken in our session also, it is very simple use of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and big data analytics to enhance human resource decision making. Unlike traditional HR where we're using, more of the manual reports. How it is different, of course, more automation, more advanced data processing to, generate the real-time insights is used rather than, what we were using manual methods to forecast workforce trends and optimize talent management. So it is very different, just as, what we were doing manually has increased the pace by introducing this automation.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for answering that. And we have another interesting question from them. It says, how can AI improve talent acquisition and recruitment processes?
So if you talk about in industry, I mean, AI has been very rapidly being introduced in recruitment processes. So AI streamlines actually the recruitment process by automating the candidate screening, analyzing resumes, and matching skills with the job requirement, and also sentiment analysis on candidate response, predict job performances. It reduces biases in hiring because now you work more on the data rather than your instincts, right? And of course, they've also told us in our session as well, ki chatbots keep your candidates engaged while you are in the process of your hiring. So HR teams can identify, the best fit more efficiently while minimizing the human errors and unconscious biases.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for answering that. And we have another question, which says, what role does AI play in employee engagement and retention?
An amazing role in simple words, because through surveys, emails, communication pattern, you get a real-time insights into your workforce morale, what people are feeling by identifying
Mm.
trends in employee engagement, their concerns, their personalized career development plans, or, that also helps to enhance the job satisfactions within your organization.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for answering that. And we have another question. It says, how does AI-driven HR analytics contribute to performance management?
So AI enables continuous performance tracking by analyzing employee productivity, feedback, and key performance indicators. It provides a data-driven insights to help managers, offer personalized coaching, set realistic performance goals, and recognize top talent.
Hmm.
See what happens, when we are doing this performance management, it requires a very, very time to time and frequent tracking. So when we do it via system, like I said, it becomes very easy and it becomes more time saving. So you can emphasize more on your performance development programs, on your identifying the gaps, certain recommendations on the development. It overall fosters your culture of continuous learning and professional development.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And we have another question. It says, can AI help in diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives?
It can, because it enhances the efforts by
Hmm.
identifying the biases in hiring, the promotions and the salary distribution. Now everything, your data will talk, your KPI versus your achievements, right? So
Hmm.
it can anonymize kind of recruitment process where fair evaluation can work out basis on your skills rather than on references or demographic attributes or any other XYZ reason, where you're favoring any certain candidate for hiring or within the organizations. It also tracks, diversity metrics, and it helps the HR leaders be informed and make decisions basis data. And certainly it brings a very, very transparent approach to build a inclusive workplace culture.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Especially thank you for your patience as you address all these questions. And as much as I wish we could keep this enriching conversation going, we have now reached the conclusion of our webinar. So, what an inspiring and thought provoking session has been, right? And thank you so much, Sandeep Kaur, ma'am. On behalf of all of us, a heartfelt thank you for your valuable insights and perspectives on AI driven HR analytics, enhancing talent, insights, and strategy. Your expertise has truly made this session memorable. Thank you so much. And to our amazing attendees, your energy, curiosity,
My
and
pleasure.
thoughtful questions made all the difference. We hope today's session leaves you with fresh ideas and practical takeaways to apply in your professional journey. And before we say goodbye, I encourage you to stay connected with Education Nest for more insightful discussions and webinars. Follow us on social media, stay updated on our upcoming webinars, and keep learning. Take care and have a fantastic day ahead. See you all in the next webinar.